Hello students, I am Dr. Kapil Chaturvedi, and today in this PPT presentation, we will discuss our topic software design, and under that topic software design, we will discuss the topic software design process, which is belongs to of our subject software engineering of 4 SAM. So in this video, we will cover following topics: software design, objectives of software design concept, different levels of software design, and finally we'll discuss what are the principles of software design. So let's start. If we ask to you, what is software design? So we know very well that if we have to work on a minor project or major project, we start our project by sitting on the computer, but that way is totally wrong. We know very well that we have to follow some steps of HDLC to implement a proper project. So we follow the steps of HDLC as recognition of need, analysis, and then we have to apply design. But in this design phase, we have to follow the procedure, how we have to make a proper design of a professional software. So in this topic, in this video, we'll try to understand what is actually design and how we'll implement a proper design. So that software design is the process of transform the user requirements into some suitable forms, which helps the programmer in software coding and implementation during the software design phase. The design document is produced based on the customer requirements as document in the SRS is document. Hence, the aim of this page is to transform the SRS document into the design document. So as we discussed, the SRS is software requirement specification, which is a matrix of or a tabular format of the requirements of the customer. So on the basis of the customer's requirement, we have to make a proper design, and we have to show that design to the customer and get the approval from the customer side. Then we will start our coding. So the following are the design phases which we have to follow during the total design process. First is the different modules required. What kind of module we have to add up to implement a proper design? We will decide firstly. Then control relationship among modules. Then interface among different modules. Then data structure among the different modules. Then algorithm required to implement among the individual modules. So these are the phases which we have to follow during the design phase of HDLC. So we discuss on the next topic of under that design process, objectives of design, software design. Why we are working so hard to implement a proper design? What kind of objective to do that? Why we are following different modules? We are saying that we will have to adopt a module and find out the relationship between that modules to make a proper design. So there we have some objective to design software design, like correctness. We have to understand the term, then we'll have to keep in mind when we discuss about the flow of the software, we say we prepare our data flow diagram. We'll decide what kind of flow, what will be the flow of our project, and for to decide that we implement data flow diagram. And once we make data flow diagram, then we get the approval from the customer side of the data flow diagram, then we implement our code. So there will be no problem in the flow. It means the software's flow will always be correct if the data flow diagram is correct from the customer's point of view, and we follow that data flow diagram SAM in our coding. So that will be correct, and so we have so much examples of that. If we are working on our ER model, ER diagram, we are working on use case diagram. So in these all are the UMS, these all are the designs. And before implementing the software, we get the approval from the customer side by showing DFD, ER diagram, use case diagrams, Gantt chart, and different kind of charts we prepare and show to the customer and get the approval. And then we follow that and implement the code. So the possibility of the mistakes will be the minimized if we implement that kind of design. So that term says that correctness. We prepare a correct software if we follow a design. Efficiency. Definitely, we improve the efficiency of our software, because when we prepare ER diagram, or if we are making a DFD, or we are making any other diagram, we are just taking the example of the ER diagram. So in case of ER diagram, we show our entity and attributes along the relations between the different tables and attributes. And we realized that sometimes we found some of the information are repeated. We keep some fields repeatedly in different tables. So on the basis of that ER visual, we remove that fields. So basically what we are doing, we are removing the redundancy from our databases. So basically we are making efficient our software. Understandability, the term is very understood. Instead of checking a code and understand a software, if we check a diagram or visuals, DFD, ER, use case diagram, we can better understand. For example, if you have to understand a program which is implemented by other student, you just see the flow. You just see the flow diagram of the program. You can easily understand that. So that is the benefit to better understand and easy understand by seeing the design of the software. Completeness, basically, we are discussing again and again about DFD and ER. So before implementing, we prepare a proper ER diagram. So check that we cover all the databases. We prepare a data flow diagram to check the process is complete or not. We cover all the forms or not. We cover all the reports or not. So by using the design, we prepare our software completely, maintainability. Let's suppose if one software developer working on a software project, and after some time, when project completed, or sometimes the project is complete about 70%, a new software developer come on that project and join that. So to understand that whole working of that software, the whole logic of that software, uh, that developer will take the help of for different designs to understand. Like we'll check the class diagram, object diagram, class relationships, uh, flow chart, data flow diagrams, ER, to understand the relationship between the tables, and different kind of diagrams can help to that particular developer to easily understand their software, so that they can maintain or develop that software further. And the last one is the software design concept. Uh, Basically, the concept are defined as a principles, idea, or environment that comes into our mind or into understand something. Uh, to understand that thing, you can keep in mind the example of a flow chart. Whenever you are working on a complex program, then you can take the help of flow chart to better understand what is the way of our implementation, what are our logics. You implement the algorithm and you make the flow chart to better understand and to solve and to design your concepts to develop a new program. So these all are the objective of software design. Then there we are. I'm giving one diagram in which we will discuss the software design concept. So what is actually software design concept? Some of the point, you are very familiar with the maximum some points in this, like abstraction. So what kind of information we have to hide and what kind of information we have to show to the other classes. So to decide that, we decide. So to pre-decide, we make some designs. We prepare some diagrams, or we can say we prepare the object diagrams, or different kind of class relationship diagrams. What different kind of hierarchies you implement to decide what kind of information we have to show and what kind of information we have to hide, and what kind of information we have to partially hide or show. Uh, Refactoring, it means maintenance or rebuild or modify the existing code. You know very well that you can easy to do, easily you can do by take the help of different designs. Information hiding, yes, this is very related to that abstraction. Pattern refinement, it means you make a some, if you implement it, if you're working on upgraded software, if you're working on a software upgradation, then firstly you will have to decide design uh, the all over design. You must have to implement all over the design of existing code of the existing software. And by studying that diagrams, that architectures, that UMLs, you will decide that you will find out the problem in existing systems and will migrate that existing system into another system. To better, we discuss before some time that to better understand a software, we can take the help of designs. So the refinement meaning, it means we are making optimized version of the existing softwares. Architecture is the well-known thing. Uh, Basically, we in most of the UMLs we implement that representations to prepare architecture of the problem. Modularity, to divide a problem into sub-problems. We can take the help of the different designs, and so on the basis of that we can decide what kind of modules, in what kind of modules we'll have to divide that problem. So this is the software concept, and this is there we have some topics which we discuss in this PPT, and in the next PPT we'll discuss further topics. Basically, we discuss the topic of our third unit, and I'm trying to cover all the topics of the third unit. Then we will have to go on the fourth unit and fifth unit, and I'm also trying to prepare a PPT uh, in which I want to explain the complete unit in our notes. So we'll continue the topic in the next video. Thank you.